Good evening, everybody. It's Meteorologist Ryan Hoke here with a Sunday night edition of the Hokey video blog. Hope that the ice and a little bit of snow this morning in our northern counties didn't inconvenience you too much. It didn't last too long, but just enough to get some problems on I-64 in Franklin County. Multiple accidents out there. Had some reports of snow covering the ground. Of course, Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings counties. We told you folks you'd be on the list for it, and certainly that is what happened. Had a few school closings reported up in Brown County, Indiana at this point. We'll be watching for some of our northern counties if that happens, but temperatures did get above freezing today, so things have improved by a pretty good margin across the region. Was able to melt some of the snow today as well. I think we'll have a pretty good opportunity for that as we go throughout the coming week, but more snow could be on the way. We'll talk about that coming up in just a minute. Let's get you outside first with the Doppler radar view. Things have quieted down. We've got the clouds still in the region as well. A couple of showers downstate Kentucky right now that we're watching. They may present the chance for a little bit of freezing drizzle in some of our counties, especially the very southern fringe as we go throughout the overnight hours. Current temperatures still above freezing along and south of the Ohio River at this point, getting below freezing from Jasper to Salem to North Vernon and northward at this point. Certainly take it easy on the roads out there tonight, as you guys have had precipitation up till about, I'd say, an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, so the roads haven't had as much time to dry as the rest of us. We also had some fog, some mist earlier. We've got some drier air moving into place, so I don't think that'll be a big deal as we go throughout the overnight, but it's certainly something that we'll be watching for. But as we go throughout 1:30 a.m., this is Monday morning, just a few hours from now, look at Munfordville to Campbellsville. A little bit of freezing rain falling down there. Same story down in Columbia and Adair County. It's just going to be a very light patch of freezing drizzle that moves through. It doesn't last more than an hour or two, but that could just be enough to cause some of those problems, especially if the roads are not treated. Because those temperatures, they drop down into the mid-20s by 5:30 in the morning. Not anticipating any very widespread issues tomorrow morning, but isolated slick spots in areas that haven't had the chance for those roads to dry, especially southern Indiana, will be definitely something to watch for. Otherwise, tomorrow we get up to 40, then we drop in temperature as we go throughout tomorrow night. Could see a little patch of freezing drizzle again Monday night to early Tuesday, but that one will be very short-lived. Here's the NAM model as we go throughout tonight, just showing the potential for a 1/10 or 2/10 of an inch of freezing drizzle down basically south of the parkways at this point. I really think south of Campbellsville rather is going to be the area that experiences this, if any. So tonight, if you want a take-home message, a few slick spots, not very many, but light freezing drizzle south of Campbellsville will be the thing that we're watching for. The next thing we're watching for, heavy rain and thunderstorms, a warm-up. We could see possibly 2 to 3 inches of rain in some spots from this system coming up. For Metro Louisville, this is the latest model output through early Wednesday, just before we potentially change over to snow. So this would be all the liquid rainfall that we see here in the city. You'll see that the guidance has lowered itself just a little bit. It was painting 2 to 3 inches yesterday for the city, but now we're going more for the 1 to 2 inch range, which is still a lot of rainfall considering that we still have some snow on the ground that'll be melting to go along with that. Could cause some, at least, minor flooding concerns. Areas south of the metro could receive a little more rainfall. That's where we've got that 2 to 3 inch potential. Here's how it works out. We do get the rain in here as we go throughout your Tuesday. A band of heavy rain sets up as we go throughout your Tuesday night. Tuesday at 8:30, band of thunderstorms moves through. Will they be severe? At this point, I don't think so. It was something that we were watching over the past several days, but at this point, we're not seeing any what's called surface-based instability. That's how you get severe weather, is to get that surface-based instability. This is more elevated, so the air parcels are being lifted from above our heads to even higher instead of here at the surface. That gives the storms less energy to work with to channel winds down to the surface, and any sort of tornado threat depends on surface-based instability. When it's elevated like that, that just doesn't happen. So at this point, these are just going to be some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Any severe weather threat, I think, would stay south of our 29 counties if anything really happens at all at this point. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about this wave that rides this front north and east. So a cold front comes through, plunges our temperatures, and then this wave of energy just rides right along north and east of it in the cold air. On the cold side of this is a big area of high pressure is moving in, dumping cold air in by the bucket load. This wave rides up, gives us an accumulating snow. A couple days ago, we were thinking, well, this is just entertainment, right? These things do happen, but, for us to get a wave on the back side or the front like this and have it line up just right to give us the big thumping of accumulating snow that some of the models are putting out, that's a little outlandish, right? Well, 2 days later, now we still have it on the models, and now we've got a chorus of models pretty much screaming at us saying, there's a pretty good snow threat here. So that's why we're kind of ramping up our wording here as we go throughout your Sunday night. We'll probably have to do so more and more as we go throughout the next 48 hours. The latest model data coming in continues to be pretty impressive. There are some waffles going around, not the breakfast waffles, but waffling on the models, trying to pinpoint where the placement of that heavy snow band would be. Will it be along the river? Will it be south of the river? GFS and the Euro say probably south of the river. The NAM came in and it was just along the river and north with that. We'll see how that works out. The 0Z NAM is actually coming out as we speak, and we'll have to see how that adds into the mix. But we could get more than 4 inches of snow. The Weather Prediction Center, branch of the National Weather Service, they've got a slight risk for 4 inches or more of snow, basically from western Kentucky along the Ohio River, includes Louisville, and southward as well. I think this is a pretty good risk area that they've put out based on some of the data I'm seeing. Again, this would happen as we go throughout your Wednesday. Rain would change into snow, and that snow, as that wave moved through, would become heavier as the day went on. I'm showing you this. This is called an SREF plume. What these individual lines demarcate is an individual run of the SREF model. It's a bunch of ensemble models, so it's just one model with little things adjusted in each of these model runs to give you kind of a spread, an idea. And if these come together real close, that means there's a lot of agreement and the system is going to play out as we think it will. When there's a lot of spread in these, when the lines are farther apart, that's when you get a lot of uncertainty. And boy, are we dealing with some uncertainty now. I've put a couple of amounts on here, but I'm not going to discuss them because it's much too early to get into the specifics. This is for Metro Louisville, by the way, what we're showing you here. That black line there indicating the average. Notice how a lot of the SREF model plumes are giving us 0. There's the chance that we might not get anything. And there's also a lot of them giving us multiple inches of snow. We're not going to be showing you any snowfall accumulation maps. Much too early for that. Don't want those spreading around on social media. But certainly as we go throughout Monday and Tuesday, Ryan will definitely be in here with this snow talk, going over the latest with that. I think this has potential because we had a setup like this, as the National Weather Service pointed out in one of their forecast discussions, back in 1995 when we went from 60 degrees in thunderstorms, like we will be as we go throughout your Tuesday, to a thumping of heavy snow as a wave rode the backside of cold front. We'll have to see. This may be our last big snowfall of the season. We'll see. The pattern after this looks like it's going to relax, become a little more zonal. The flow goes from west to east a little more. That usually favors a slightly calmer pattern around here. It's not so amplified. You're not getting these big troughs digging in like they were before. So, after we get through this snow, we get to look forward to spring. 18 days away. Of course, meteorological spring started today, March 1st. That's when meteorologists consider spring to be, from March basically to April and May as well. By June, that starts meteorological summer. So, hang on, folks. We've only got 18 days until it starts, but we've got to get through this next snow chance first. I want to give you a quick look at the 7-day breakdown. You'll notice we've got 60 on Tuesday, 38 on Wednesday is probably going to be a midnight high temperature because we're going to be crashing as we go throughout the day down into the mid-20s by the afternoon. This is why we're so concerned about snow, because this may go from a wet snow to becoming more and more fluffy as that temperature drops. We'll have to see how far that freezing line, that 32 line at the surface, can advance. We'll also have to see if there's going to be any mixed precipitation with that. That is definitely a possibility. Wanted to show you the latest GFS model data here for the rainfall totals as we go throughout Tuesday into very early Wednesday at 5 o'clock there. You'll see that we've got 2 inches plus, basically Lebanon down to Campbellsville. Again, this is lower than it has been previously, but still could present with us a flood threat as we go throughout your late Tuesday into your early Wednesday. Whole lot to talk about coming up over the next 3 days. And of course tonight on Wave 3 News at 11, we'll be talking about the flood of 97. Today is the 18th anniversary. We'll have a look back at an event that so many remember across Kentuckiana. We'll see you then.